Hello and welcome to Paris again. Today I have Morton, Mayor of Copenhagen, with me. Let me first give a sort of a brief of why we do this. My name is Kai Embren, and I have been working with Nordic mayors since the political week in Almedalen this summer. And we brought 22 mayors together, and we have an intensive discussion over how the mayors and the cities could contribute in the process of climate change. And here in Paris, of course, there's a lot of mayors because they have a key role to play when we talk about climate change. And even if you have sort of 150 or more than that leaders from all of the world, they had problem to sort of come together, have a photo, but I think the mayors will, the 5th, I think, or the 4th and the 5th of this week, will come together and show how cities can change and contribute to solution on climate change. And of course, one of the front runners here in Paris of the mayors is Copenhagen. And Morton, you are sort of a born in Copenhagen
that is
son.
Born and raised in Copenhagen. Yep.
Yeah. So it must get a bit of a nice feeling that you are in the front of the debate to be carbon neutral.
Obviously, I mean, I'm proud. I'm glad to be mayor in Copenhagen. I'm glad to be mayor in a city that recognizes its global responsibility. We know as a rich city that most Nordic cities are, that we are part of the climate change. We are part of the problem. Now it's time for us to show that we can also be part of the solution. And for quite many years now, we've seen that cities are acting whilst nations are only talking. I hope this UN conference will show a little bit of acting on the nation side, but as cities will keep on acting.
Yeah, I understand that the cities are the doers, but of course, national government need to also to play their role to meet the demands from the cities. When we talk about financing and investment, for example, but a lot of other issues that the government play a key role.
Well, there's no doubt about that. I mean, when we talk about transport, changing from fossil cars to green cars, when we talk about public transport, when we talk about energy production, then, of course, as cities, we can do a lot, but we can't do it all. And for the main structures of each of our nations, we need to have governments on board. That, unfortunately, is lacking in Denmark. But among other Nordic countries, I really see a responsibility taking place that I'm glad of. A little bit envious, I must say, but at least we as citizens of Denmark are doing all good.
Yeah, I see. Maybe a little bit later today in the program, we will see if some of the guys coming. There's a guy who comes from the negotiation team on the clay, will give us an update also, because it's hot here, hot discussion. So,
definitely.
And he will also contribute with some wording here after we have been talking Reddit, going through some key issues also for Copenhagen. So we see, but Morton, when I think about Copenhagen, I'm thinking of biking, cycles.
Yeah, well, that's good that you think of that, because we wanted to become the world's best bicycling city. I think we are among the major cities of the world. 2/3, almost 63% of Copenhageners, they bike every day to work or to their place of study. So that's pretty good. Only 9% of them actually use their car. So that is pretty awesome. But obviously, transport is only part of it. So I'd like Copenhagen to be just as known for our wind turbines. We are investing 6 billion Danish kroner in wind turbines this year to make sure that electricity will go all green. Because really, it doesn't help if you drive an electric car and it's still from fossil fuels. So, and Denmark obviously is a country where oil and coal has been very heavy. We want to change that. So wind turbines should be the next symbol of Copenhagen.
You have been a front leader on the wind turbines for a long time.
Yeah, but still, we can do a lot more.
Yeah.
We still have a lot of coal nationally, coal and oil in our energy production, and we need to get rid of that. And we can get rid of that. We can't turn over to wind, to solar energy, to geothermal solutions. We don't have the rivers of the other Nordic countries, so we have to turn to other solutions. But I think it is possible.
Yeah. And how is the response from the national government on investment in these fields?
Can we talk about something else? It saddens me. No, there is really no response. Or should I say, there is a response saying, you go alone. The new government we've got in Denmark have abolished more or less most of the climate aims, most of the climate goals that we have set in Denmark. They even now take the money for the climate fund out of the development money that the government sets aside, and the investments in public transport has more or less been cancelled. So it's sad times in Denmark, to be honest, and that I say not only as a politician but also as a mayor in Copenhagen, because we feel that we are being hit very much, that we really have to go it alone. And we will keep on the struggle for becoming carbon neutral in 10 years' time. But we've learned that we have to do it on our own.
But then it means also that the voice of the mayors need to be higher.
It does. And there we have very good cooperation with other mayors, other cities around the Nordic countries. What they're doing in Oslo is a really good example for the rest of us. What they're doing in Gothenburg, in Stockholm, in cities all over the Nordic region is really great for Copenhagen to learn from and to be inspired from. And we can show in the Nordic countries, in the Nordic cities, that we are good role models for the rest of the world.
So, what is the key role for you when you look at to succeed to be carbon neutral? What sort of incentives do you need, and what sort of barriers do you need to take away to become carbon neutral in 2025 as you have as a target?
Well, interestingly enough, I think a lot of the incentives is actually also busting one of the myths that is one of the big barriers, because there is a myth that going green is expensive, and it is not. London School of Economics last year issued a report on Copenhagen and our economy, showing that the green transformation of the city is actually good for the economy. That without that green transformation, Copenhagen would have been in recession throughout the financial crisis. Copenhagen wasn't. And that's due to the fact that we are transforming the city into becoming greener and greener every year. So that is really a good incentive, showing that there are jobs in this, that you actually have more people getting employed, that we are able to sell the good solutions all over the world. I signed a cooperation agreement with New York City late September on climate adaptation and cloudburst plans. And that really is boosting the economy of Copenhagen. So that's a good incentive, showing and knowing that going green is also making sure that we create more jobs for the unemployed back home.
When we look at the energy situation, and I understand that they also have some plans to develop the geothermal energy to play a bigger role, and in that sense also that district heating, which is a strong part of the Nordics. Is that the sort of a heavy investment in this area now?
We have a test plant on geothermal heat, because our district heating system, which covers 99% of all households, of course runs on hot water. And we know that below Copenhagen, 3 kilometers down, we have hot water enough for 200,000 households in 200 years. So that's pretty good. So we need to take advantage of that. And so we have a test plan for the moment where we are struggling with, can we scale this test plant up to become the whole of Copenhagen? And we will, in the coming decade, I think, hopefully get it up and running and make the investments needed to show that geothermal solutions are part of the future.
Yeah. And when we are here now in Paris, what is your daily life here? What do you do?
I was just part of opening the Eclay pavilion that Bristol, Paris, and Eclay, so over in the other area, the green zone. And it's a lot of meetings. It's a lot of meetings with negotiators, with cities around the world, with national representatives, telling them that please start acting. We need it. We need you to act. And so basically, basic lobbying. To
It's
be
lobbying.
honest,
Yeah.
lobbying and good meetings with good colleagues around the world. That everybody who all wants to be part of the good initiatives. The mayor of Belo Horizonte was I had a meeting with earlier today. That also is keen on showing that Brazil can go green as well. So those cooperations are essential for me.
And the expectation on after these 2 weeks?
I'm a realist. I don't think we'll have an agreement that will keep future temperature risings below 2 degrees. But at the moment, I'm also there that any agreement will be better than no agreement. So I hope for a good agreement, of course. I hope for that some of the goals will actually be able to be met. And then we'll have to keep on pressuring. Have to keep on working in the coming decades. Paris is not the end. Paris is probably only the end of the beginning.
Maybe a sort of a big building understanding between nations. And what I understand, your climate strategy is pretty on the paper, and you have something to follow.
We have 120 concrete milestones. Because anybody can say that they want to be carbon neutral in so and so many years, but what you need is actually concrete milestones. So we have 120 concrete milestones that we are following up on every year to make sure that have they met their target? Are we on the right schedule? What's going on with them?
And then when you look at the political leadership in Copenhagen, and are all the parties who are involved in this behind this climate strategy?
It's not all parties in the city council who agreed. The original climate plan, when we first set the target, was agreed and unanimously. So without any votes against. But when it came to implementation, when it came to the concrete ideas, then a couple of the parties, the Conservatives, the Liberal Alliance, they fell apart. The Liberal Party didn't want to be part of it as well. But we still have a majority of 3/4 of city council. That is the center-left 3/4 of the city council, who's keen on becoming carbon neutral and who doesn't waver. So we keep on.
Oh, that's great. Well, Morton, I was very happy to have you here today, and we're going to have people coming and going and talk about the Nordic leadership, and hope to see you in the action this week and also the coming period back in Copenhagen.
I'll do my best.
That's great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks. So, and now we will see if we have get some other people to come here to. It's a lot of things going around and happening around here, and I think I see Martin. Do you want to come to sit, Martin? We can. You can be in the direct and the on the net now. And Martin, tell me, what are you doing here in Paris?
Well, I represent South Pole Group, so we're a global solution provider in terms of climate change and sustainability. And what I do here is I meet businesses, cities, national governments, and we try to see how we can help them to enhance their climate actions, to evaluate what we're already doing with them, what they can do more. So it's really about actual actions we're interested in. So we're not that closely related to the high-level negotiation. It's more about actual programs, actual actions in cities, within businesses, and by national governments.
And you will launch something today. I saw some press release coming out.
We just launched cityactions.org, so the City Action platform. It's kind of an overview of all city-related actions at COP21 to start with, but we want to enhance this next year, 2016, to become a major platform for innovation and information for cities, how they can act on climate change. So what is going on, which kind of technologies exist, who is kind of a leader, where can you, draw lessons and how to move forward.
Okay, well, who are your partners in the work?
So, for this platform, we partnered with eClay, Local Governments for Sustainability, which is kind of a major network of cities, maybe the largest network of cities in sustainability areas. We work with WWF, with Gold Standard. There are many other partners now joining, like Slowcat, and it's really an interesting initiative that draws a lot of attention. People become interested. They see there's so much action on the city level here. So even let's say if these negotiations fail, which we all don't hope it will, but there's still so much going on. So I think we're in a good path for low carbon transformation.
Oh, that's great. Hope to see you more this week.
Yes.
But now we're going to go and see get some insight from the negotiations.
Okay.
And I think I see Eunice Arikan here from the head of policy at ICLEI. Welcome. Sit down and in our corner here. We are now sending live from Paris.
Perfect.
And of course, I'm very interesting to hear what's going on the negotiation.
Yeah. So, first of all, congratulations. I think this is a great contribution to the process in terms of making the connections, those who are not there, also exchanging, providing inputs. So let's just summarize, if you like, how did we come here to this level in terms of negotiations. For city's perspective, we started this process significantly in 2007. Before, we were also participating, but we were always outside as side events. Local governments were always together with business and environmental groups since the beginning following this process. But we did not have any official door to join the discussion. So when they said that 2007, a new design is on the way, we started the roadmap, local government plan roadmap. And we had 3 goals: recognize, engage, empower. At that time, the goal was Copenhagen, and there was a roadmap, excellent. We said that we will not stop, we will not give up. This is exactly the reason why we should now work more. So starting from 2010, we have advanced this process. So after 4 or 5 years of mobilization, especially in the last 2 years, with the negotiation opening the doors for stakeholders, what we can say is that we have achieved a huge recognition. There is no one who is discussing the role of cities. Everybody, especially the national governments, they see if the new regime is more bottom-up, they need partners at home. And when they look at home, they see the mayors and governors, their staff as their best partners. So we have achieved this recognition. The process was engagement, which means in the consultations and implementation, how we can make ourselves a room. And in that sense, we have been participating in the technical meetings, especially since 2013. Ministerial mayor dialogues, we have had this a number of times. So we have now this level that there is a good thinking that if there's a mayor or a city official in the room, negotiators are taking them much more seriously because they know that they have a lot of stuff to put to them. And the last part is empowerment, which is both technical and financial resources. So on the table at the moment, we have a preamble paragraph in the big decision, and we expect this will not be removed. We hope this will not be removed. The things on the table is that how will continuation of these technical meetings and these high-level dialogues, will we have such Lima Paris dialogue style sessions? This is what we are expecting. But overall, we expect an ambitious agenda, of course. That the agreement should be meaningfully ambitious. And we are pushing for 100% renewable targets, loss and damage. So these are the substance-wise what we are also asking for.
And your need to be positive and optimistic, I understand, to sit in this process.
Otherwise, it's too easy to step out. I mean, I remember in 2010, when we were going to Cancun, we went through Mexico City. We had the mayor summit. And people were asking, why are you going? It's just failed. I mean, it's really easy to leave that step out. The alternative at the moment, there's nothing better. I mean, we have to make this process meaningful. And nobody says that it is perfect. But of course, Paris could also fail. Nobody denies this. And of course, we will not stop working as cities. Let me give you the example. Our 95 was the first COP. But it was in Berlin. It was the second Municipal Leaders Summit. So our first Municipal Leaders Summit was before Berlin. So mayors and cities will not stop if UNFCCC fail, but of course it's difficult to get partnerships. So for Paris, is not the end of the road. It's just the beginning. But the good thing is that there is a huge potential now from our side. We have our data available. We have our commitments on the table, Compact of Mayors, Nordic initiatives. Everybody is now on the visible. We hope they will seize this opportunity. If not, we will not give up again. We will continue not to give up. It may be a bit harder. It may be a bit more difficult, but as long as life on Earth continues,
Yeah.
we will continue to fight.
Particularly in cities.
Exactly.
And a lot of more people are moving into cities.
Of course, yeah.
I understand the voice. When you look at the figures, you get a little bit scared when you see, for example, the coming 2 decades, one more Stockholm in population every second week. And of course, a lot in other parts of the world in the Nordics, but people moving into cities. That gives also, of course, opportunities. More people can do more. But what you said before about empowerment, an event like this must empower a lot of mayors. So we probably will see them more active when they're coming back to their cities.
Exactly. Well, that's the logic. I mean, this 2 decades, what we have achieved in the north, in the south, in the east, in the west, was mainly through municipal power, municipal budget. That was an era. And that era helped, of course, to keep this action on the ground. What we are saying is that this urbanization in the 21st century, if we are saying that, as you said, the capacity of urbanization that we built in the past 4,000 has to be repeated in 40 years, obviously this is beyond the capacity of a mayor. It's not an issue that he can solve himself. We need governors, we need national bodies, we need international partners. The question is that how effective these people will work. Will it be continuing like top-down approach? Okay, I have a plan and you just apply, or this integrated, more multi-level governance, more interactive, especially considering that most of the innovation comes from those who are challenges. They are producing the results. I mean, mayors never leave the room when they find a difficulty, just on the contrary. That's why they're there for. But in processes like diplomacy, you can say, okay, we suspend and we go. Life in city never is suspended. No. So that's why their solution power, their ability to present,
they are
options,
doers.
Exactly. They should be an advantage, an asset for the national governments, and I think they now got it perfect.
But it's a need also of political leadership. You need to be brave because it's not going to be an easy ride.
Perfect.
So, let us meet after these 2 weeks and discuss to see, because now, and then we will see what's going to happen. Sure. And I think also I had Marike van Staden here yesterday, and we talked about compact of mayors and how important it also with global networking and deliver solution and exchange experience between us.
No, we're more than happy. Anything can happen in the rooms. The Saturday is critical, so let's see what will come up from Saturday. Because this is the time when they will solve some of those, and then they will leave to the ministers. Let's see that all what we are expecting is there. If not, we will continue to push.
We have some talk on Saturday too, so maybe we can give me a signal and we can give the people who are looking at this a little bit of insight. But thank you very much for your to come here. And
good luck, and thanks a lot for the invitation.
Thanks very much, Eunice. So that was the program for today, and here in the Nordic pavilion, we have a lot of side event going on. So and I think we have also I'm going to see if Mary, who's the head of communication, Mary, she's the head of communication here. So Mary, what's happened here in the Nordic pavilion
right now?
Well,
right now we have an event going on here in our meeting room. We have actually, during these 2 weeks, we have 50 different events where we have the Nordic Council of Ministers, but also many other organizations that we cooperate with that come here and arrange different, all organizations from the Nordic countries that come here and arrange climate or energy-related events for the public in here. And actually we have a lot of people coming also to this lounge area that we have here. It's a traffic that never ends, it seems. So
That's
it's a good.
interesting. And then even today you're going to have the Swedish king coming here.
The
in
Swedish
afternoon.
king, actually, yes, he will come today. Yesterday we had the Finnish president, and we had many prime ministers from all the Nordic countries. I think the prime ministers visited us yesterday. So we are really, you could say that this is a success when it comes to the audience.
Yeah. And I hope we're going to have a success also on the negotiation part after these 2 weeks also.
We are very much hoping that. But our main things that we want to tell people in this pavilion is actually what we have done already when it comes to both climate and energy solutions. And we are hoping that our achievements so far can be an inspiration to those who for example, from the developing countries that are thinking about how they can arrange their energy during the following 20 or 30 years.
Yeah. And also I understand that we had just a talk with the mayor of Copenhagen.
Yes.
And they are the first capital who going carbon neutral 2025. So there's a lot of ambitions.
They are really ambitious. Their goals are more ambitious, I think, than anybody else's, and that's good. Same goes
that's
for
my memory also from the political event we had in this summer in Almedalen, and
yes.
we had the 22 mayors come together, and
yeah.
they were talking about we would like to be carbon neutral. Some said to 2020, 2025, 2030, 2040. So it's a little bit of a competition between the cities. But it's no question where the direction is going.
The direction is right, and I think it's good when it comes to Denmark. It's good that they really they believe that it is possible to get there by 2025, which is very good. You will never get anywhere unless you believe in your own goals.
Great. Thank you very much, Mary.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
Now I think we started to get the end of the half hour. And we're going to send from here, from the Nordic Pavilion, more times. Even if we have tomorrow a break because we have side events in town in Paris. And I think we're going to have some webinar opportunities from there, but let me come back on that. We have then on the day after, the 3rd, we have a side event here in the Nordic Pavilion with the mayor of Reykjavik, and we have also the mayor of Växjö. And for you who didn't read the article about the mayor of Växjö, Bo Frank, in The Guardian, you should do that. You can find the article if you Google it and on The Guardian on Bo Frank. It was a very interesting article, a very strong mayor. And I think also we may have some other mayors coming here too on the 5th. So keep on looking at their hashtag Mayors Lead or the Twitter account Mayors Lead. And keep us informed if you hear anything, and we will connect. Thank you very much for today.